Hello everyone, I'm Vika Vinogradova. This is the Recipes for Lazybones channel. Many of you have asked me for waffle recipes. I've filmed recipes more than once. They are all over the place on my channel. I decided, first of all, to gather them all for you into one big collection. Secondly, I've also prepared a bunch of new recipes. In general, the waffles turned out to be really to everyone's taste. You will definitely like some of the recipes. I hope in general everyone is happy with them, and I will share them with you now. Let's start with some really cool waffles. Firstly, they will be banana flavored, which is delicious in itself, and secondly, they are low in calories. That is, they can be eaten even if you are on a diet. Not often, but occasionally for breakfast, why not? A cool recipe: break 2 eggs into a bowl, add 3.5 ounces of cottage cheese. It's better to take soft so you don't have to beat it with a blender. Stir it. Add 85 grams of flour, half a teaspoon of baking powder, a pinch of salt. We don't add sugar to the dough, the bananas will handle that. So the waffles will be quite healthy, and if you take, for example, whole grain flour, they will be super healthy. The dough is very thick for now, but the bananas will fix that. We cut 2 pieces for the blender. If you lack a blender, mash them using a fork or potato masher. If some pieces get in, it's not a big deal. The main thing is that the bananas are very ripe, then the waffles will be sweet. We grind everything into a puree and add it to the dough. The consistency will be quite thick. We grease the surface of the waffle iron with vegetable oil. We wait for it to heat up, then lay it out. From the specified amount of ingredients, I got 4 waffles. I usually cook at 180 degrees for 4 minutes. But of course, it's better to refer to your own waffle iron model. Cooking usually takes 3-5 minutes. As I said, even without adding sugar, due to the bananas alone, the waffles turn out sweet and incredibly aromatic. A very tasty recipe. The next version of the waffle, it's for the sweet tooth. They will be very chocolatey, just unbelievably chocolatey. Break 2 eggs into a bowl, add 100 grams of sugar, and mix. Pour in 130 grams of melted butter, 80 grams of milk, and mix again. Sift 20 grams of cocoa, 130 grams of flour, half a teaspoon of baking powder, and mix for the final time. This is the dough consistency. Heat up the waffle iron, grease the surface with oil, and bake the waffles at 180 degrees for 4 minutes. From the specified amount of ingredients, I got 7 waffles. They are sweet enough, but also chocolatey. If you want, you can additionally pour them with melted chocolate, but in my opinion, even in this form, the waffles are unusually tasty. The next recipe is straight up my favorite. I tried them, just can't describe how tasty it turned out. You'll need 2 eggs, 4.05 fluid ounces of kefir or yogurt. I took yogurt, salted, and mixed it. You will also need half a teaspoon of baking powder or soda, 80 grams of flour. Stir until the dough is quite liquid, but we will fix that now. For this, grate 4.23 ounces of cheese. I took Suluguni, with it the cheese flavor will be more neutral. You can take something brighter like cheddar to make it maximally cheesy. Grated it, added to the dough. The consistency is perfect now. Heat up the waffle iron. Grease both surfaces with vegetable oil and lay out the waffles. I had enough dough for 5 waffles. I bake at 180 degrees for 4 minutes. The waffles turn out to be salty, cheesy, satisfying. In the morning with coffee, it's perfect. Honestly, I regretted that I didn't make twice as much dough. The waffles were insanely good, unbelievably cool. And I also have a very tasty recipe for apple waffles with cinnamon. Take 1 egg, a tablespoon of sugar, a pinch of salt, pour in 80 milliliters of milk, melt 15 grams of butter, and also mix everything well. Sprinkle 80 grams of flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, and mix again. The dough will be sticky. We clean 1 apple from the skin. Use a sour apple variety. Grate it with a large grater and mix it into the dough. Sprinkle ground cinnamon on top, literally half a teaspoon. Stir and it can be fried. We grease the surface with vegetable oil, heat it up, and lay out the dough. You will get 4 waffles in total. Bake at 180 degrees for about 4 minutes, adjusting to your waffle maker. The cinnamon and apples make the waffles aromatic with a slight acidity. If desired, you can also drizzle them with honey. Although they are very sweet on their own, even without honey. And yet another quite sweet on their own waffles with such a surprisingly unexpected ingredient as pumpkin. You would think pumpkin is a vegetable, but with it, the waffles turn out to be so aromatic, so tasty. You must try this recipe. Break 3 eggs into a bowl. Add 50 grams of sugar or sweetener, like I do. A bit of vanilla, 3 tablespoons of sour cream. Stir it. Add 1 TSP baking powder and 0.7 ounces poppy seeds. I took almond flour, but regular will also work great. 250 grams of peeled pumpkin and grate on a fine grater and add to the dough. We heat up. Grease with vegetable oil and lay out the dough. Baked at 200 degrees for 4 minutes. Optionally, drizzle with honey. The waffles are fragrant, very soft, unusually tasty. And another recipe that I've been making, not for the first time, I really like it, it's curd waffles. Mix 300 grams of curd, 2 eggs, a tablespoon of sugar, 40 grams of butter, 2 tablespoons of milk. Blend until homogeneous. Then the curd will not have grainy lumps. Add 150 grams of flour and a teaspoon of baking powder. Mix everything well. The dough will be thick. We lay out the dough in a waffle iron, greased with butter, and bake at 180 degrees for 4 minutes. They turn out to be very soft and creamy. Indeed, an unusually tasty thing. In general, all the recipes are very cool, but as I said, the raw ones are amazing. The apple and curd ones are remarkably stylish. Please comment on which recipes you liked from this post. What have you already cooked from this? That's all from me. Thank you very much for watching the video. Wishing you a good mood. All the very best. Goodbye, everyone.